What's up YouTube and welcome to Ezreal Caitlyn, the newest version of the Noxus Piltover and Zaun control combo type of archetype based around Ezreal. This has been played with many different champions since the early days of beta of Legends of Runeterra, but the most recent buffs to Caitlyn and her traps in general have made this one a lot more consistent and a lot more interesting. And it has been one of the top performing decks recently on the European ladder. If we look at the leaderboard, shared rank 1 here, Ultraman runs his version of the deck, ragnarosich also runs a slightly differently tuned version of Ezreal Caitlyn. So I tried both decks and we'll also take a look at both. I start with Ragnar's list because that's what I played first. And the main difference here is that Ragnar does not play ferros financier and also 0 copies of whispered words, instead tags in 3 aloof travelers as well as a 3rd house spider for some early game presence. So therefore focusing a bit less on card generation, but focusing more on the outvaluing win condition by removing our opponent's most expensive card from their hand. That means we don't have to take care of it with like Tri-Beam or Scorched Earth or anything else later. And removal basically is the name of the game. What we try to do is remove all of the early and mid game threats, and then in the mid or late game set up our own win conditions. Once we removed all of our opponent's threats, either Ezreal is going to be leveled, or a unit like Caitlyn that's hiding behind quick attack can level up, can get scary. But also cards like Farron, just big hitters paired with the decimates that he generates, as well as a bunch of burn, of direct nexus burn in Static Shock, in Mystic Shot, in Ezreal's passive, in Ezreal's Mystic Shot. Plenty of ways of burning our opponent. And we have some other cards that can be used both offensively and defensively super effectively. Perfect examples here are Arachnoid Sentry as well as Tri-Beam Improbulator. The interesting thing about those two cards is they take out one of our opponent's units while summoning a blocker or attacker in the very same instance. So we're basically going 2 for 1 in one action. And that's what makes this deck kind of hard to play, but also super rewarding and super interesting. We need a very deep understanding of tempo, of setting up good open attacks, of realizing when our opponent's out of mana and we can just develop very greedily and they cannot answer to that. Just finding those windows of opportunity to push a bunch of damage in. So that's basically the general playstyle of the deck. We play pretty much all of the relevant removal. Of course, Ravenous Flock is absolutely cracked, especially now that Caitlyn's Flashbombs are somewhat consistent at damaging our opponent's units. Scorched Earth is great in the current meta against Mono Shurima, Targon's Peak nonsense, Bandle Tree nonsense, any type of landmark. And to make sure we don't run out of steam, Station Archivist can be really, really good, either finding additional cheap removal or cards like Static Shock that draw further. And now the difference in Ultraman's deck is he also tagged in a copy of Whispered Words, which one Whispered Words is often not enough to make the deck consistent, but if we run triple Station Archivist to have the option to pick it if we do need card draw and have mana left over, can be a great tech choice. Besides that, as mentioned before, Ferros Financier is a very interesting choice and is not the most consistent card in itself, but it will always be an early game unit that gives you something high value for the later parts of the game. So therefore it can also replace draw in a very interesting and unique manner. And if you do like some randomness and ridiculous moments, manifesting those high cost spells will also just make a bunch of games more fun and more unique. So I'm not quite sure which version will perform better. I think they're very close overall. Some other tech choices that can be considered are cards like Culling Strike, but I think you don't really need those with the kinds of removal that we have right now. Both decks felt very well rounded and in the right hands. If you are comfortable with this, it gives you a lot of outplay potential and you can definitely climb very effectively with these lists. And I did have some pretty good gameplay on my Twitch stream that I want to share with you.
Is it the mustache? Who knows?
Le Mirror. Okay. I think... Okay, this is a bit tricky. Do we go value or tempo? Should usually be tempo, but the House Spider is only a single keep. I think we keep 1 spider. Apart from that, look for Thermo and Cait. I'm not sure if I've played the mirror this season yet. But I think I kinda know what the strategy should look like. Spider into spider, I suppose. Rather spider into open attack, right? Don't want to give that much of a prime static. I'd like the deck needs a tiny bit of draw with those top decks. Yeah, I don't mind the whispered words. But I mean, we do run triple aloof, triple static. So 6 potential card draws in general. The only sad thing is that archivist cannot copy any type of draw. That was probably a bad bluff. Okay. Kind of fine with my opponent using Mystic Shot here. Pass end rounds. Financier is good. Yeah, I saw Ultraman's list. Maybe I should try that instead. Okay, this Spiderling is gonna carry us to victory.
Well, what have we here?
What have we here? Static's probably better. Pretty symmetrical mirror so far. They're up 1 target, right? No, we're even. Lost our spider wing con. What do we do now? How do we close out the game? So they would mill before us if we play Farron. We can't... Like, we could play Farron, but we might tank a lot of damage if we do to a stun spider. I'd prefer to play Farron in my attack turn, then we overdraw decimate. I think playing Farron is fine. Like, we could take the block. Nexus HP is pretty important in this matchup, don't get me wrong. The issue is then we enable our opponent's like potential fleeting Scorched Earth or Flock without them having to invest more resources. The bigger issue though is that then we cannot play a card anymore this turn except for Mystic Shot Phase. Mystic Shot Phase is really bad. That's not the fleeting card. Okay, guillotine, so our opponent will draw another one soon. Gotta make hand space. This is a very clunky way to do so, but as long as we have the attack token, we're fine. Can kind of ping everything our opponent tries to yeet at us. Spider. Stun Spider forces more removal. We're getting our Ezreal flipped and our opponent's only gonna go to 5 out of 6. They shoot Spider here. Oh, this is so good for us. If they have removal for this, it was a huge mistake to not play it before I swing.
The world's a big place.
Lots of ways we could go here. I think this is it. We're basically scared of a stacked up Tri-Beam as well as our opponent's arachnoid sentries. Yeah, that got punished quite a bit. I guess I maybe should have stunned Farron instead of Ezreal here. What we can do though is play Ezreal double Mystic Farron. And then we kind of just win on the open, right? Like, our opponent can't remove Ezreal anymore.
They don't know what they're up against.
Nasty. Let's see, double Peacemaker. Next turn we drop Ezreal, double Mystic Nexus. They're at 4. We don't have mana for Decimate. Right, we're 1 mana off. The other line is Ezreal blocks Sentry.
Hey, good looking. Back at ya.
They're at 6 damage. So I would have to hope my opponent doesn't have removal this turn. Like, I saw the line a bit too late. What we could have done is Ezreal blocks the 8-6. We let Farron go through. We sent both Mystic Shots face, set them to 4. Open up with a Decimate and hope our opponent doesn't have, well, 5 damage of burn. It's kind of scuffed either way, though. Okay. Flock.
I think we have something on that case.
So if they have no fast speed spell, we can win. That was straight up thrown. That was a freebie. Our opponent probably still has a flock and is BMing us, but if not, that's... I mean, it's a throw either way, though. Ah! GG, though. But holy shit, what a throw. And with the preemptive emotes, I mean, that was a bit deserved. What are we playing against? Yuumi Pantheon. Something like this. Thing is, we'll need lots of reapings for this one. Knowing our opponent plays Guiding Touch. I want Archivist back. Is that even worth a Stun Spider? How many sharp sides do these play after the nerfs? I think Ezreal is fine here.
Time for a true display of skill.
Like, I don't mind taking the 2 damage here. 4, I suppose, if my opponent wants to waste mana. The thing is, if our opponent invests Sharp Sight or some strike effect, the thing is damaged, which basically means we don't have to invest a ping effect. I think that's one thing that beginners with this deck miss very, very often, is just playing Ezreal for tempo. Like, he's not your only finisher, and he doesn't have to be a full-on value play. Oh, now it gets interesting. Do I want to discard... Like, do I want to have the chance to discard his Yuumi or not? I think I do. Because I could play aloof first.
Look, a thing. Elf, that's not ours.
Concerted. Not the best hit, but it's fine.
Come out from your shadows, demon.
What do we think about Tri-Beam plus Mystic? Chain Vest kinda rocks us, but that's it. The other line is let the attack go through. Or we could block and Scorched again, I suppose. We can stack this Tri-Beam quite ridiculously, that's basically the idea. I think I like playing Caitlyn. If they swing, we block with... What do we block with? Maybe we'll... Okay. Open up with Sentry.
I see two figures dancing forever in silver rain.
Feels like Tri-Beam's better than Mystic Shot. Mystic Shot is like threatened by a lot of protective combat tricks. Sweet. 5 damage is nice.
6 months. D.
Mr. Inverse, thank you for the prime. Half a year of Bezos bucks, appreciate it. This is kind of always just stun Pantheon, right? Worst that can happen is a random Zenith Blade for non-daybreak. Wait, he cannot roll spell shield anymore now, right? Okay, so there's lifesteal in there. And regen. Do we even ping the Saga Seeker? Do we send the second half phase? Phase seems better because we always use the Scorched on Panth anyway, right? Like the 3-1 can't swing because of Tarkas. You can just block with it. Okay, now it gets interesting though. Tough is actually kind of annoying here. So we do need to get rid of this Pantheon before we can do anything. Ah, we're so close.
Here's my calling card.
That was to be expected. I just hope they don't have the second one. And I also hope they don't have second Pantheon. Nice. Kind of like full swing. It does push 2 damage. It's kind of hard for my opponent to keep their units alive effectively. One of the two is probably gonna drop.
Together, stranger.
Guess that works. And we still have... Oh, okay, nice. So as usual, Pantheon is the only scare card. Can we... Okay, 1 out of 3, because our opponent missed 1 attack earlier on. I guess, what's it called? Zenith could technically kill us. That's wild. I'm tempted to just beam for 9. Farron can lose to, like, protective spell plus cataclysm, like Zenith plus cataclysm, for example. But not really, right? But like gem, sharpsighter, guiding touch, cataclysm. Just sentry is fine, I guess, and next turn we can beam for 9. I feel like sentry is better because that gives us the threat of farron plus decimate next turn.
Peace is a trail painted with blood.
GG. Like, Mystic Shot should be good there because if the last card in our opponent's hand is a protective spell for that Saga Seeker, we're in a winning position, right? Whereas if it's something else, we kind of take away the opportunity of our opponent to find some random Cataclysm or Rally finish. Zoe ASol. Most likely a peak deck, and we kinda have good cards against Targon's peak. I'm tempted to even keep an Archivist just to have higher odds of finding more Scorched. The thing is that deck can still outramp us, like it still needs to be respected in a way, but it's much worse without peak, of course.
Not by a long shot.
Now we need aloof. Yeah, in this matchup, aloof is quite the baller card. A low value champ that can be suitable with Thresh. Oh my goodness. That was nasty. I kinda need to kill this, right? Financier Horse Spider full swing. Then that stairs is really scary. It's burning. No, he's 1 card off of overdrawing. Thermo beam. Oh my goodness.
Tea and cookies to go with your dossier, Sheriff?
Inspector, and their biscuits. Scoping the area.
What will you have?
Shock Blast seems fine.
I help when I can. Shut up when I can.
Oh, that was ambitious. I would have been more scared if my opponent would have banked the mana for the Fielder Rush. Because, I mean, at this point, they're very likely to hold one, right? No point in playing Spider yet because of Avalanche. Ravine we have Scorched Earth for. Has to be static. Kinda doesn't have to be. Still feel like that looks like an It Dead Stairs. In which case trade is good. But I also really need to put on the heat, right?
There's no shortage of possibilities, but there's always a best path.
I'm not sure if we beat It Dead Stairs.
Watch your toes.
Take 3. We could. We could, it's not too bad. Thing is, it doesn't really change our line of play, I don't think. Because if they play It Dead Stairs, they don't have Field Rush mana again, which means we're not that scared yet. We probably develop the same way. And it gets damaged on the block. So I guess it would have been an extra target with a static. Just nice. That was my computer. Don't even start tripping. Okay, we're pretty close to the level up here. Sending everything face doesn't seem strong enough. Enthrone's acceptable. Next turn, she who wins, maybe. Or Fielder Rush. Both are pretty scary. So we could Tri-Beam Flock She Who Wonders. We could Farron. Block and remove her, take 8. Oh, it's so hard to close this game out. Tri-Beam Flock. Next turn, Farron. Wait, did it kill nothing in my opponent's hand? Holy smokes, their hand must be stacked. Feels like Farron Flock is better. Is there any chance I'm ever not blocking here? Go down to 2. Next turn... Nah, seems bad.
FreshL6 Slick hello fellow streamer less than 3.
Thank you, Celestino. Appreciate it. Oh, this is almost a pass? What do I do? Pass loses to end round into Fielder Rush. Like, I always lose to Fielder Rush, right? I think it's pass and hope our opponent does a mistake. Tri-Beam and then we have 5 mana left and nothing to do with it. I guess we can Tri-Beam and hope. Tri-Beam and Prage. Okay, no cap though. That means we could technically win. Maybe my opponent's hand is like triple She Who Wanders, triple It That Stares, triple Voices of the Old Ones. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, play for the Ezreal level up. I don't think the attack with She Who Wanders is good. Unfortunately, I can't remove their champs here. Like we would have mana for Decimate Shock Blast next round. Question is basically if we play Financier this round or not. It's for sure Ezreal. Farron doesn't really make sense.
Check me out. The world's a big place. Let's see all of it.
I just can't really find us anything better than what we already have in hand, right?
The constellations bow to me. Now they'll pay attention.
So max we can threaten on this stack is 7. I think it's open attack. Like Hush Beasts no matter what.
One shot, all skill.
It's okay. Still technically lethal as long as our opponent doesn't have healing. I feel like we're getting rolled here. Durum the legend, thank you for the prime. Appreciate it. Okay, still winnable because we can top deck. Like they just cannot find a supernova. And any fast speed targeted spell wins. We're chilling, we're chilling. Poggers Day. Oh my goodness, this is getting exciting. Mana issues though. Give me a fast speed spell, please. Oh! Oh, baby, what do we do though? Okay. There's only one line of play left. We do not have choices no more. To the casino we go! Nice, not nice. Ah, we're dead. Imagine we would have drawn like Mystic Shot, Ezreal's Mystic Shot, Ravenous block. Something along those lines. Interesting matchup. What a year is this? Farron in the opener? Like, Archivist is technically good as well. I could keep all three. I'd rather have all these cards than removal, right? Phases in Field Rush? Okay, that's a greedy deck. Ramp into Crystal. Huh. How do we even handle this? Archivist hope to find Thermo Beam? Like, we can scare our opponent by picking Ravenous Flock, I suppose. Like, we can't use either of the two cards. I'm just thinking, like, what makes more sense for us to let our opponent know we're gonna draw soon.
Things more exciting than an unsolved mystery. Another clue.
I've carved meat bigger than you. What will you have?
Well, I guess at least no Trundle. Feels like we gotta stop the ramp. I'd prefer to play this when I have Tri-Beam, so maybe static first. Rough opening. What do we know about our opponent's hand? Probably no Trundle and some Behold card. Don't really have more info. What do we know about ours? The next two draws are gonna be units. I still have mana for Ravine or Avalanche. I feel like Peacemaker into Archivist. Like, knowing the next two draws are gonna be units makes Archivist a bit worse. Aw, none of these are good.
If it's a people problem, I'm your man.
Modulator could be Pog. Not really, our opponent's threats are units. Transmodulator only works on followers. I'd stick with the soft read earlier on that our opponent probably didn't have. Trundle. Avalanche Vial sucks, the rest is fine. Okay. Archivist would survive an Avalanche, but like, it's not really worth the 3 damage. We just greet here. Unironic strength in numbers? Shock Blast. I don't know, Shock Blast looks kind of bad. It doesn't really hit much this matchup anymore, does it? Like, strength in numbers is good when we're ahead in tempo. We force our opponent to tap out while playing removal, then play with the Marauders and open attack. That's when the card's good. Also for the content, right? Why am I even thinking about this? I have officially become a meme streamer.
Let's talk about your attack.
See, that's exactly the scenario I envisioned. Tank 8, full swing open. What else? Sentry, Tri-Beam, full swing open. Sentry and offense is no good. Sentry here is actually decent. Sentry, Tri-Beam. I don't think it's the boys. Like, I don't know, it's good, but I dislike taking the hit. You know what? For the content, I picked this for a reason. Who cares? Take 8. Yeah, we just take 8. It's fine. Maybe 1/1 spider blocks. What do you do again when you're tough now, right? Because I want Tryndamere to be damaged. For sure.
Hits, huh?
Try me.
Boys are back in town.
I'm not done! This'll take the chill off.
No FTR. Seems like a win to me. Like, I like playing Farron. We lose to Vengeance this round, Atro next round. Like, I could play Archivist. We have good odds of fishing a Scorched Earth. Or like any other thing that removes Trynda. Oh, I can't help but feel like Farron is risky here. Damn it.
I think we have something on that case.
That's not the worst. We have Flock. Ooh, wait, end round's good. The hell is this pass? 100% end round. Thinking if we can somehow play around Atro. Would take 0 if we didn't take the pass. Our opponent still had 6 cards left in hand though. We know we're gonna draw 2 thermos, which doesn't really help.
Follow my blade! Smashing! My blade calls! This'll be a slaughter! Going someplace?
So we always lose to Atro. Maybe we take this type of block. Doesn't really make sense. It's like block here, flock, beam. And we still have mana for the second sentry.
Who's gonna close up?
What a roll. It still comes down to Atro and not to Atro though. Flashbomb Trundle. Flashbomb Trundle! Oh. I need to practice my aim.
They look angry.
Mystic Shot or Ezreal. On the stack or after the stack? On the stack, Static would win, but we don't have mana to play it. There's no reason to play it now. Opponent can still have a random ass flash freeze that they for some reason are reluctant to use.
I'm so good, I surprise myself. The world's a big place. Let's see all of it.
Let's go! That was a close one. But Pepsi made a good point. I'm not sure if... they're holding on. They're clinging on to a thread here. Pepsi made a good point. I'm not sure if that pass end round to burn 6 mana was the best play after all. GG. Either way.
I knew we had it all along.